Lowdown
Hey,
Nation, we are live. It is Tuesday night, and we are here with the September edition of the New Music Spotlight Show. And it is my pleasure to have with me back for a new appearance, A Day in Pompeii, based
hey,
out of Lynchburg, Virginia. We have Anna, John, and Candace. How are you doing tonight, guys?
doing good.
Good.
Very good. Doing very good.
Good to be here.
Awesome, awesome.
We're ready.
So you guys have a new song that just dropped this past Friday called
Yeah,
Wildwood.
September 13th. Um, so far, so good.
So tell us a little bit about the song, and then we're going to play the visualizer video in its entirety, so that people can get the feel for it, get the sound and the fury. And so give us a little rundown on it.
I'll start. I would say
Okay.
it's our longest song so far. And that might be a trend, which I kind of vibe. It offers something different than our previous releases, which those watching, if they haven't heard the song yet, they'll find out why I say it's a little different as far as the vocals go. And I'm really liking the path we're taking with this release. And I'm excited to share it with those who haven't heard it yet.
Agreed. Yes. But no, we're really excited about it. We've really been anticipating its release and the response, the feedback, and all that. Just really looking forward to getting it out there more and letting more people hear it and seeing what people have to say. And like Anna said, it is a little bit different than what we have released thus far. If you like the other stuff, you'll like this stuff.
Yeah.
You'll definitely like Wildwood, but it is a little bit different, and I'm happy to be able to share this side of what we do a little bit more.
What about you, John?
Um, yeah. So the song has nothing to do with the city in New Jersey. I'll just say that right off the bat.
Yeah, put that out
Um,
there.
yeah, that's just the title. This is actually the first song that I had written for it. We weren't even a day in Pompeii yet. Like I was just writing new music, and this just came out. Um, I think it's a little different from what we normally do, not only because of the vocals, but I wrote it backwards from my normal writing process. So normally I'll write guitars and then everything after that. With this song, I wrote the drums in the beginning first. And that's kind of what springboarded the whole rest of the song was the opening drum part, which, you'll hear that and kind of be like, oh yeah, that makes sense now. Um, but it has a lot to do with like fighting your inner demons. So that's what the trade-off vocal style has to deal with. So you're like fighting yourself, and I just thought that was really interesting.
Very, very. Well, without further ado, we're going to play the song, and then we can come back and talk
Yeah.
more about the writing process, the recording process, all that great stuff.
Let's do
So
it.
let me share my screen, and we'll get this thing going.
Let's do it.
It's in the shadows we'll find our true selves. Unhappiness slips between our fingers, a lazy so heavy on our chest. It's a ghost that we all spinning round and round and one falling. We call time so fragile, our heart counts the seconds. But in the chaos and the clutter, you can still hear the cry of fathers before us reach out as a need for change turns to a war cry.
That's the
And
song.
we're back. We are back. What a song! I
Yeah.
mean, it's got a little bit of everything for rock lovers. I mean, it's got clean vocals, it's got screamed vocals, it's got a breakdown, it's got anything you'd want.
I
So,
think it's got something that no matter what you're looking for in like a heavier rock song, it's there. And I mean, we could start from the beginning, and there's something to say about every portion. But if anybody wants to start, go for it.
go for it. Yeah, it's y'all's show.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did all the screams on it. Obviously, that's not Anna or
That
Candy.
is not me.
That's not me.
Goals. But
I had done all of them before I got COVID. So I got COVID after that, and it completely wrecked my voice. So that is the only recorded instance of my voice sounding like that.
COVID really did a number, didn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. It destroyed
On
me.
the music world, it really not just like live performances and filling out venues, but so much. But we did get a chance to perform this live for the first time a few weeks ago. We had a show
cool.
at Super Rad Arcade in Lynchburg, Virginia. We were opening up for Andy Henson. And this was the start of the show. This was the first song we did. Fire alarm went off immediately. Like not even halfway
Like,
through the song, I don't think.
No,
And
it's like,
because the fog machine set
and
off
the
the
fire
smoke,
alarm.
we exit, we come back in, and we're like, should we just move on? And we ended up starting at like the second verse. It took second. We started like the chorus, and
Yeah.
it took a minute to get back into it, but we finished this song. We did it. It was
Mhm.
really nice to be able to just kick off a show with Wildwood, and I think I would love to continue doing that. When John said, "I wrote the drums first," I said that makes a lot of sense because this song is a groove. It's a dance.
It is.
The whole time I'm listening, I want to dance.
Mhm.
Terrible dancing, but I want to move, and I think this is a great song to do that with. And it's really exciting with that kind of clapping going. It draws in your attention, and I think that was a really clever move to put in the song. It's in there more than once, and it brings you back. It kicks it off and it brings you back. I'll keep going, but I'll let somebody else share whatever they would like to at this point. Someone else.
Yeah, I mean, we normally do a lot of layers in our songs to begin with, but this one has a lot of layers on the layers. So the
What do you
claps,
mean by layers?
yeah, I mean, I probably did like 10 or 12 tracks of just clapping. And it's me clapping, it's me and my kid and my wife, like we're all on there just clapping together. My dog is on there, which he had passed in June. And so
Oh,
I
I'm
found
sorry.
thank you. I found a video of him barking at the TV, and I asked the guy that mixed it. I said, "I don't care what you do, but put that track in there."
Yeah.
So you can hear him on the opening stomps, him
It's
barking. He's like
I think
literally
it's
yelling at
incredible.
you. He's like, "Clap with me." Um, so there's that, and we've got a lot of vocal layers. There's a lot of guitar layers, a lot of orchestration, like heavy orchestration. The woe part,
Ooh.
the woe part is the woe part.
The woe part is the woe
Someone
part.
has referred to that as a battle cry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which I thought was great because as it's coming off of the like that talking breakdown, which we're going to get into that, as it's coming off that talking breakdown, the last thing he says is war cry, and
But
that's
then here it
the
is.
last,
Yeah.
and then you get the woes, and I didn't even put that together until someone else had said it to us, and I love that, and that's forever going to be the war cry part. Which that called for layers, absolutely. It's kind of haunting on its own. If you isolate the vocals, it's so different than what you hear when it's put with the music. And I really enjoyed recording this song. This one, it took a little time. We recorded it and we left it alone for a while, and then we came back. There were some parts that weren't working and we had to fix, which was a lot of people, if they are not involved in recording music and vocal tracking, they really don't know every little detail counts.
Right.
And some of the stuff I was like, do we really have to fix that? Does it need this? It absolutely did. It absolutely did. And I'm still learning that every tiny detail counts. And I'm so glad for the ability to go back and fix something or make it better or add more to it. And I think that's what makes this song so great is that as we go more and more details, we're picking up, we're saying this is a day in Pompeii. This makes sense for us. And that's, whether people like it or not, those that do, they're going to appreciate the growth from the first release to the next. And so I think Wildwood really shows a lot of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, I've listened to it a number of times, and I'm just blown away. I mean,
Maybe you're getting those streams up.
Yes.
well, you were saying that it would be a great song to open a show with, and I couldn't agree with you more. It really is the type of song that can really set the tone
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
what's coming and really, set the table and whet the appetite for the crowd. I mean, you guys really have a good one here.
Thank you. Thank you. I think it's like you hear that and you say, okay, what else you got? Because I like that. I want to hear more. And
Yeah.
as I mentioned, it's our longest song. And I heard someone say in an interview, it was a random, I'm scrolling, and this girl's like, every song should be under 3 minutes. You should be able to say what you have to say in 2 minutes and 50 seconds. I disagree. Like, we're not a pop punk band. It's not over with. It's not over with as soon as it starts. And so packing in so much, and it's not just packing in lyrics, it's packing in music for those
Right.
that appreciate music for what it is. It's not just listening for, okay, what are you singing about? It's a whole journey from start to end. And I'd love to continue that with A Day in Pompeii. I really
Right.
think that's like something we will keep doing.
The people that want their songs to be, the under 3 minutes long and all of that nonsense are generally the people that don't really fully appreciate musicianship.
Yeah, sure. I can agree with that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, look, I love pop music as much as the next 14-year-old girl. But I'm not really listening to that to receive something.
Right.
And that's okay. I'm not a genre hater. I used to be. I've gotten a lot better. Every song has its purpose. But the type of music we make, I would like to think it's we're trying to give you something. And that's my thoughts on that.
So, John, tell me a little bit about the screamed vocals. I know that there is a technique to it. And I know that if you don't have your technique down, like you said, well, you had COVID to contend with too. But if you don't have your technique down, you will ruin your voice.
Oh, absolutely. And I think a lot of people that try to do screams, they try to do it with their throat. And that's where the issue starts. And that's why you see a lot of people do it and they can't talk the next day because they're doing it all from here. And I do it from my abdomen, so my chest and my stomach, and a lot of anger as well. With this song, I had to be in the right mindset to go and do them. And the breakdown part, I remember because I did it at night, and I was mad about something, and I was like so violent in doing it that I felt like I was just gonna fall on the floor and pass out afterwards. But yeah, I mean, you got
Hear that.
you have to practice and you have to train your body to project, because a lot of people can do it. A lot of people can just go, hey, but they can't put that force behind it and project it to where it sounds like, number one, like words. Otherwise, it sounds like a bunch of gibberish. And with that energy and the power to get your point across.
Absolutely. I guess a couple of years ago, I ran across this band. I believe they're from Ukraine called Ginger. And Tatiana, their lead vocalist, is a female that can outscream most men.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
100%.
Yeah.
I saw a video of their song Pisces, and somebody just told me you need to watch this, so I did, and I had this moment when she started screaming, and I was like, how is she doing that?
Yeah, it's always like the tiniest vocalists that are shocking, and like I like to see their live performances, because anything can be done with a music video, and you watch them live, and you're like, holy cow, how is it possible? And like John said, anyone can go but projecting it is really, that's different. And I appreciate John's vocals on this song with the clarity that it has, because I can understand what he is singing.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I like that. I think it lends nicely to what my vocals are doing. It's harsher, it's heavier. The feel is, it's a contrast, but you still understand everything you're hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And growing up, older people in my life, what is that music? What are you listening to? It's just noise. I said, are you listening?
Like, I don't
Are
think
you
you're
listening
actually
to it?
listening.
And people are missing out on some
They
really
are.
incredible lyrics too. And then just, even if you don't like it, just appreciating the skill that comes with it. I cannot do it. Tried. I'd love to learn, but I don't have that skill set. That's okay. I'm going to appreciate it from over here.
That'll work.
Mhm.
So tell me about the recording process for Wildwood. How did that go?
Listening.
Yeah, we record everything in my basement.
Okay.
Yeah, uh, I wrote everything to the song in my spare bedroom. I just, have a little interface and I could just do it to piece it together. But all our instruments, our amps, our drums and stuff, they're all in my basement. So um, I actually played everything on the song.
It's all John.
Yeah, it's all me. I consider myself a very good tracking musician. I take a lot of pride in that.
Good.
Click track boot camp with
Ew.
a day in Pompeii, just over there with that click track, just click, 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 click. So yeah, I mean, once the structure of the song was done, I laid down drums and then guitars, which I ended up redoing all of my guitar tracks because a certain individual named Joel Wanasek, who we will touch on later, he he got me really butthurt about my guitars. So I redid all my guitars, did all those, got really anal about them, and that's why they sound the way they sound. And then tracked bass, tracked the scream vocals, and then Anna wasn't initially the clean vocalist on this song.
No.
No, I had called my cousin Tim, who we had been in bands before. He's a really good singer. And I was like, "Hey, this is what I've got. This is my idea. What can you do with it?" And so he did vocals in his bedroom and sent them to me, which, I mean, they were rough, they were raw. It was just him, one microphone, all that stuff. But the idea was there. And the clean bridge part, the speaking part, and
Mm-hmm.
the woe part, he ad-libbed those like on the spot. He came up with that, did the woe part, sent them to me. He's like, I don't know if you're gonna like it. I liked it enough to keep it.
I love it.
But there was I didn't like the chorus to the song. I don't think any of
Mm-hmm.
us liked the chorus to the song. So when we rewrote the chorus, obviously we couldn't use his chorus vocals.
Right.
So some of his original vocals are still in the track, in certain spots. But then I got Anna and Candy to do their vocals on top of that, and I really like how it came out.
You know, um, things like the ad-libbed "whoa" part of the song and everything. Moments like that are just magic.
Yeah,
You can't recreate it either, because and I'm
No.
gonna say this. I call it the talking part. I have to do that. I thought I was gonna have to do that live. I said, there's no way I cannot deliver that. I just can't do it. Not like that. And I learned it just in case, but we were able to use a backing track, and it just
Mhm.
hit so much better. Like, sure, I'm mouthing along and I might shout a part of it, but what's on the track already there is just so good. And I love that it was like you got like a lower end and a higher end, and that final, I'm gonna keep going back to it, but that final phrase turns to a war cry. Like, it's just, it really sets the tone for the woes. And I used to make fun of songs that would fill a space with woes. That's a joke. Like everybody jokes, like, oh, they just put a bunch of woes in there because they didn't know what else to do. This song calls for it. You need it. It is because the whole song is, you can talk about layers, but it just builds up. And I think it gives a nice, I wouldn't call it a break, but it gives you something to bridge to the final chorus.
It's like an outburst. It's like a war cry. You know.
And like I said, it needs it, and people can sing along with it if they don't know the rest of it. After the first phrasing of woes, you're like, I know it now. And so I'm so glad to have been confronted with things I used to pick on, and I'm growing. I'm changing my mind, and I absolutely love it. That was fun to record. Doing the woes, I think we did individual woes. We did woes together. And we just kept building it, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, there's a lot of woes on there because I think we did two of yours, Anna, and then we did like 4 of Candy's because they were all harmonized,
Mm-hmm.
and then I told them both to do them together.
Yeah.
And then Tim has woes on there too, so they're low, and it's just a big pile of woe.
Whoa, it's me.
Full of woe.
Yeah, full of
growing from the tree of woe.
Yes, yes, from the tree of woe. That was one of those times where, you know, I've always enjoyed recording in whatever capacity, whatever genre, and even when it's stressful, it's really great at the end to have an end product to share with somebody. But this is one of those where when I finally heard them done, I felt like I grew big black wings with silver glitter, and they were covered in velvet, and it was just like, because it was this feeling like wow. This is great. This is I can't wait to share it with people. People are going to want to sing with this.
Yeah.
And just the way that it's all mixed in together. This was one of the most fun songs to record vocally, especially of the ones that we've released so far.
Can we talk about the callback in the choruses and how we recorded that?
Please do.
Yeah.
John.
Are you talking about the group ones that me and you did?
Yes.
Yeah. So I've always been, because I'm a metalcore kid, right? And I've always been into those like late 2000s where every song had a group chant. You know, it's the whole band getting around a microphone and yelling tomfoolery and nonsense. And so I was like, that's what this song needs. And what were we recording? We were doing something awesome.
We were making some other content.
Okay, yeah, we were
we were filming. We were
It was like a cover or something.
Yeah, we were making other content, and it's like, hey, and this was a last minute idea. You had not like planned this out really far in advance. We did.
This was one of the spur of the moment things that I had, and so I was like, let's do the callback vocals. And so me and Anna did like 2 takes with the microphone right in front of us, and then we did 2 more takes where we kind of formed like an equilateral triangle.
Yeah.
And then we did 2 more takes where the microphone was really far back, and when you blend them all in, it sounds like there's a bunch of different voices.
And I kind of laughed because if you're watching this in real, like if you're watching that happen, it looks so funny because you're like, all right, I want to put the mic here, and we shout it, and he moves it, we shout it, and he moves it, and we shout it, and it was just watching something get made, and then hearing the final result.
It was weird, and I could see her face. She was like, I don't think this is gonna work, and so I played it back, and I was like, well, here it is with the first 2, cool. Here it is with the second 2. Cool. Here it is with the last 2. And her face just totally like changed.
Like, that sounds like a lot of people. And that's clever. That's smart. And we didn't have 15 people in the room singing those. It's just us. I love it. I love it. I love that part of the chorus. Like I said, the whole song has so much going on. And I mean, we're on our side. We're the only ones that know about that until now. And everybody watching They'll like, oh, that's what you did. We're letting go of all of our secrets.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. No gatekeeping here.
It's like a recipe. They can read it, but can they make it?
Yeah, it's different.
Exactly. You know, you can be a cookbook musician if you can cook.
That's right. That's right.
We're just eyeballing it.
Yes.
But as far as the recording went, what software did you use? I'm just curious.
I am a Reaper user. That's my doll of choice is Reaper. I was a Pro Tools guy for a while, but I like how Reaper's open source, and you can make plugins, you can make scripts and all that. I'm familiar with it enough at this point where I can do all my editing, all my tracking in it, and the workflow is there, and I think it's great. And some people hate on Reaper, but I mean the results are there, so I'm gonna keep using it.
Gotcha. It's funny, doing these live streams. I've used a few different video and audio editing packages. At this point, as far as video goes, I've pretty much settled on something called DaVinci Resolve. And for the audio for the podcast, I'm using Audacity.
Audacity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
That's my speed right there.
And I've had pretty good success with both of those. So,
Well, I would suggest give Reaper a try. It's free.
okay,
They make you buy a license after a trial period.
Oh.
gotcha.
My trial period has been going on for like 8 years now, but it's fully functional. They don't hold anything back in the unlicensed version, so it's fully
really nice.
right out of the box.
That's awesome.
Well, that's cool. Y'all, I'll have to give Reaper a try. So,
But yeah, that's what we use, and I've got a interface, and we just run everything into that and do the multi-tracks, lay them down, edit them, and move on to the next instrument.
very cool. So, as far as the band goes, what's next after Wildwood? Anything on the horizon? Anything new that we can look for in the coming months, so we can have you guys back for another one of these?
Yeah. We've got 2 more songs that are pretty much done. We got to do vocals on one and then a couple other things on another. I think we want to wait and release those both with the other singles that we've put out as a whole EP.
Yeah,
Nice.
I think, and it's a good plan.
Yeah, and the other 2 songs, they're the same, but they're also different. One of them's actually pretty short. I mean, it's that 3.5-minute pop punk single that's not pop punk. But
you gotta give them something, quick.
we say what we
Yeah.
want to say in it, and then we peace out and move on to the next one. But the other one, I think, is 6 minutes long.
And I would say it's
really long.
that was the first one I ever recorded.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll leave it there. We'll build the anticipation.
Mhm.
That's another, I'd like to think most of the songs, I'll say it's a journey. It's, you can't just butt in halfway through the song. Got to listen to it in its entirety and just enjoy the story that we're giving.
Sounds good. I'm going to flip over to the Instagram tab real quick and just see. Let's see. We've got a number of people in the chat.
Hey, Instagram.
Hello, Instagram.
Yeah, we've got JT, who is the guitarist for a band here in the Atlanta area called Death Blender.
Death
All right.
Blender?
Death Blender, yeah. As
Is
in
that a
like
country band?
Okay,
No, that's
That's
definitely.
Scott. What's wrong with
I
you?
gotta make jokes.
um, and so yeah, I mean, we've got a bunch of people in the chat, but
Y'all say, hey, oh, hold on, I'm gonna stop you right there. Everybody, if you're in the chats, if you're watching, you need to wish Matt happy birthday.
Yay! Happy birthday, Matt.
Do it.
well, thank you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
I appreciate that. 55 trips around the sun.
That's awesome. I thank you for
That is.
sharing your birthday evening with a day in Pompeii.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, you know, like I said before we went live, I love doing these, and just being able to do this on the evening of my birthday is just such a privilege. So
Yeah.
Aw.
I think it's great.
so
Well, I guess I would ask you, what is your favorite thing about our new song Wildwood? Like if you had to point out one thing and if you were going to share it with somebody, off social media, what was your favorite thing of the song?
well, two things. One, I like the fact, and you were pointing this out, that you can actually understand the screamed vocals.
Yeah.
I like intelligible screaming. I don't like screaming just for the sake of screaming.
Day in
Um,
Pompeii, intelligible screaming since 2024.
That's the name of our first
and
album. That's what it'll be. Intelligent.
well, that's actually not bad. That's actually
No,
not
that's
a
not.
bad
No,
album
actually,
name. Intelligible screams.
I like that.
So that and I really like the breakdown. I'm a big fan of breakdowns, and
Mhm.
that's a really good one. I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
yeah. So
Hey, cool.
those are the two real high points for me.
Nice.
So
Thank you for sharing that. I'm always curious if someone says they like one of our songs, like be specific. What did you like? And if all the people are saying the same thing, then we know we're onto something and we'll keep doing that.
I also I like songs with a message, songs that have meaning, that aren't just, fluff.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
everybody has their own demons, their own issues that they're battling. And those types of songs encourage you to keep fighting, to keep the fight going.
I think lyrics like that, specifically with Wildwood, it shows that sure you feel this way, but other people do too, and they're
Mhm.
still pushing on. I know it's like it's cliche, but it's like no, you're not alone. Or maybe someone else has tried to describe their problems, their pains, their issues, but it didn't make sense, and maybe this does. Maybe these lyrics putting it this way is more relatable than another sad song someone might have heard. It's a language. It's music is a language of its own, and some people find comfort or solidarity in a jazz or what's I'm trying to think of another country ballad. We're gonna give this feeling to you through rock music, and I'd like to think it's lyrics build bridges to people, and if they feel that it's relatable, it feels like something they've felt before, then we're doing the right thing here. That's at least that's my take on lyrics like what we presented with Wildwood. I did not write them. I'm just happy to sing them. And it makes a lot of sense to me in the way that they're written.
Absolutely. So, I guess any final words from words of wisdom, words of whatever from any of you?
I have one.
Okay.
Make sure whenever you export your tracks to send to your mixer that your synth tracks are in stereo. Because he will call you on the phone and tell you that they're still in mono.
I guess,
That was my freak out moment with this song.
and John's going to have a lot of those in recording because it is a lot on his shoulders tracking all of the instruments
Yeah.
and vocals, and he's putting this all together. We don't experience that. If we mess up something, he retracts it, but he's still doing all of the work. And so, thank you, John.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So John is Mr. Wizard, you know.
Oh,
He's
yes.
Sure. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I guess if I'm in any final thing, thank you to all of those that have streamed our music and for tuning in tonight. Check out the rest of our singles. We have 4 now, and we're on most music streaming services. And we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram. We are everywhere. And so if you're on any of those social media apps, do find us so you can keep up to date, because if you like our music, we want you to follow along and be a part of what we're doing. And let us know you saw us tonight on Match Strings and Things. Let us know you were here. We would really appreciate that. And thank you for listening to our music.
Mhm.
Yeah, and if you find us and you can comment, we'll talk to you.
We're 100%
We
real.
will respond. We're people.
Yeah.
We'll
We
have a
see
conversation.
all of it.
No automated messages of thanks for messaging a damn Pompeii.
Yeah,
No,
we'll talk about your favorite type of pasta, and you know it's
Yeah.
coming into Halloween season. So, what's your favorite scary movie? We'll talk about those
Mhm.
things.
How you
Yeah.
take your coffee? How do you take your not coffee? Whatever it is, you know.
I
I
really
drink Dr. Pepper.
fan engagement,
Just
big
water
one.
for now.
Well, you know,
Yes.
I can completely attest to that, because I just cold reached out to you guys about, you know, coming on initially, and
Yeah.
you guys were just so gracious, and
Thank you for
you know,
having us.
and it's been it's really been a fun friendship keeping up with you guys, and
Likewise.
and you know, you guys are definitely some of my favorite folks. So it's been a real pleasure getting to know you guys and following what you're doing.
We plan to be back if you'll have us on the next thing we drop. Yeah.
Consider yourselves as having a standing invitation. All you got to do is just reach out to me, say, "Hey, we're ready to come back," and done. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, you know, for everybody that's been watching this live, thank you. For those of you that'll be seeing this on replays, you know, thank you for that. If you like what we've got going here, you know, definitely spread the word. This whole thing is really taking on a life of its own. You know, I've between the music and the wrestling side of things, I've done right at 60 live streams.
Oh wow.
And I mean, I'm having an absolute blast. I don't know where this is all going, but I'm along for a really cool ride. And
yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yes.
Me too. And you know, I'm just like I said, I'm just having the time of my life doing these. And it's an honor getting to know people and helping tell the story of people chasing a dream. You know,
Like that a lot.
And so anyway, I will be back Thursday night at 7. I actually have a live stream with an independent wrestler from Florida named Jerry Swirls. And then Friday, I've got another wrestler named Sterling Silvers.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. I'll comment real quick though. I thought wrestling was dead because I grew up watching it. My dad and my brothers, Candace and I were sisters, and our oldest brother would dress up as Sting. And he really, really he went to a school once and dressed up like Sting, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, it's really him!" I used to be referred to as Molly Holly because I'd walk with my hands on my hips, and
Oh gosh,
I grew up. Don't repeat it. And
You just told the whole world.
I didn't watch it anymore. I got out of it, and then I had kids, and my husband, he's into a bit of mixed martial arts, and he's like, let's put wrestling on for the kids. Holy cow. It is still big, and it is still a massive thing. And I'm like, you know what? That's awesome. It's great entertainment. The characters are just unbelievable in a good way.
Yeah.
And so I am happy for the world of wrestling. I really am.
Oh yeah. You know, it's I've been watching for since I was around 11. You know, varying levels of fandom over the course of my life, but right now is actually one of the most exciting times to be a fan. There's just a lot of cool stuff going on. There's a lot of companies, a lot of places for guys to work.
Growing.
You know, and it's actually cool to be a wrestling fan again.
It is. It totally is. I said if the kids are into it, I'm like, maybe it's cool again. I'll have to say, like, the women in wrestling is you now have a 50-50 split. I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, but I was just like, holy cow.
It would at least seems that way.
It feels like, I mean, from a person who's not watching it consistently, I was just like, wow, these women are insane, and they're the characters. I absolutely love them.
You know, with you guys being musicians, there is a guy that you should check out by the name of Joe Hendry.
Hendry.
He's a wrestler, but he's also a musician. And he one of his shtick is he basically brings his musicianship into his wrestling.
Why not?
And he will write songs about his opponents that will play as he's coming to the ring. And the funnest part is watching the other wrestler trying not to break character and bust out laughing.
Because it is a character. We know this, but for him, he is getting both worlds in there. That's the dream of putting all your stuff you love into one thing.
Oh yeah. And he has cracked the code on going viral. I mean, his stuff is just going bananas on social media. So So yeah, check out Joe Hendry. I think you'll get a kick out of him. So
thank you. I will. I'm interested now.
One of the very small perks of going to a tiny little private school for high school was that sometimes you get people totally obscure and fringe to like speak in your school or speak for graduation. We had Nikita Koloff, the Russian bear.
Oh yeah.
Speak at graduation when I graduated. He's cool. He's a cool dude. And it's funny because like he's a wall. All right.
Yeah.
Even still after having retired like a long time ago from wrestling. And I'm sorry, I'm ghosting in and out here. But like he's not actually Russian. He's from Moscow, Illinois, or something like that. He walked out onto the stage and had his accent. And literally, like Moscow, it's a place in America, but I can't remember what state.
Believe nothing.
Yeah, and like he walks out, and you know, my exposure at that time was WCW and WWF, and before it was WWE, and like you know, we watched Monday Night Nitro every week when it's short of my age here, but like. And then there's this dude. I'm like, okay, I've heard of him. That's cool. All right. And he comes out and he's, you know, this big old wall, just walking up on the stage. He's got his accent. And then he totally removes the accent. He's just some normal guy from the Midwest of America. And like, he gives a story, and he's a missionary and a speaker now. He's got a lot going on. It's really cool. And, but it was like, that was my first like real life exposure to someone that in professional wrestling. I'm like, oh snap, it's not just some weird obscure thing that people do. It's like, no, this is it's a world all its own. And just hearing the experiences of people that are active in that world, and the roles they play, the people they meet, the things that they do, it's actually it's fascinating, and it's a lot of fun. Like when you get into it, it's really fun.
Oh yeah, and the most of the ones that I have had on these live streams, they are very serious about it. I mean, it is
Oh,
an art,
absolutely.
and
They should be.
yeah,
They should
yeah,
be.
yeah.
They should listen to A Day in Pompeii and use one of our singles as their intro music. We would love it.
Oh, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
Every wrestler needs an amazing song to walk out to.
Yes. Yes. Well, and I think it's interesting, your show, the stuff that you share is, it's music and or wrestling. And it's
All in the
funny
same.
because like it may look very like two very different things, but the truth is they are both taken very seriously, and they're performance art. Each, you are pouring all of yourself in one way or another into this. I
Yeah,
don't want to even say product, into this experience that you wish to share with people.
much respect.
It's not even just about you and the person that you're wrestling, or you and the person that you're in a band with. It's, the people. It is everyone. It is a shared experience in one way or another. And in my mind, that's how the two cross over.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank
This has been an absolute joy, and like I said, consider yourselves as having a standing invitation. You're part of the Lowdown family. And anyway, like I said, I will be back Thursday night at 7 p.m. with Jerry Swirls, and then Friday night at 7 p.m. with Sterling Silvers. And yeah, isn't that a great name?
I'm definitely not that quiet person. Lambs are all my thoughts. Like, that's so cool.
Anyway,